Welcome back to another video. I know I don't do videos like this, but this is my top 10 animes of the 2024 year. So let's just jump straight into it. Number 10 is Blue Lock. Now, of course, Blue Lock for this upcoming season anime was real good story-wise. The problem is it is almost unwatchable when it comes to actually watching the anime because it looks like they just colored pages. Of course, there's, a reason for this. An animator did come out and say that one is overworked and that they're working on 5 episodes at once, but they're mostly overworked because they split up production between this and the movie, so they couldn't really do both. So there's no really movement in the anime. It looks like a frame by frame anime, not like smooth frames where you're supposed to watch it in continuation, and if you pause it, you see a funny moment. No, it's freeze, hop to the left, hop to the right, crisscross, score. That is all you see in that anime. I almost wanted to put it on the top 10 worst, but it has really good story going for it. So if you really don't care about the animation, the story, the characters we are introduced in the second season are pretty interesting and pretty have things that develop, it devolves more of your interest into Blue Lock and into Itoshi Sei and Ren's story. So, it's very interesting and it's very entertaining when it comes to story-wise. Animation, watching the actual show, makes you want to be like, yeah. All right, that's my number 10. Let's move on to number 9. Number 9 is Let's Go Loser Ranger. Loser Ranger follows the story of a creation created by the monsters that go out from being a zero to a hero for the villains in case to take care of the Rangers that killed their bosses in the first invasion of Earth. What's really interesting about this story and interesting about this anime and why I put it number 9, one, it is not as good, at least to me, on the upcoming animes. 3, it does have a great job of build up and introductions to want to be hungry for more of to be more hungry for upcoming seasons, as well as they persuade and does a good job representation of how your role models, how many kids people look up to can be fake, can be, you don't know who's behind that mask, you don't know how they act behind closed doors. All you see is the image that they display to you. So they do a real good job with that. Also, the fight scenes are incredible, the teamwork incredible, of course. So I can't wait to see more. I have not read the manga, so I do not know more of the story than what was already in the anime. All right, let's go on to number 8. I almost slipped up for real. Number 8, Let the Grieving Souls Retire. This was one of my personal favorites from this anime season that was in the fall. It follows the story of Cry and his struggles of being super famous and having the perception of being super powerful towards the general public. But all he wants to do is be left alone and retire, as he's mostly just dragged along in the story because of his guild and because of his extraordinary friends. And Tio's is one of his friends' apprentices. But the story we follow is him just trying to get away as far as possible from the guild, of him being the guild master, because originally the Grievers were made and they made Cry as the leader, though Cry has wanted nothing to do with it, as everyone else in his party is extraordinary prodigies, great at doing whatever they do. He is not good at anything. He has the 1,000 tricks names. He is not good at anything. The only information that we have of him, or at least manga-wise, is that he can be as strong as anybody in the Grievers if his relics are recharged to full max. If he's fully prepared, he's Batman. He can take down anyone. But if he's not, he's weaker than a girl training under his friend. Yeah. So I really did enjoy this story. It probably won't get a season 2 because I don't think it did well and has enough popularity behind it, but it's still one of my favorites of the season. Let's move on to number 7. Number 7 is, of course, Mashal, Magic and Monsters. And, of course, this really swept the nation much early on into the 2024 season, of course, because of the bing bong, bing, bing bong, bing. My bad, because of the theme song. Now, many people who enjoy and like the theme song did not watch the show, but it did boost it to a different level of popularity. I watched the show and I really liked the show premise of basically One Punch Man meets Harry Potter. And of course, in the second season, we are more, we learn more about Mash and more about his powers. Plus, we really get to see a fight between two Grand Wizards, Zero and the old dude. I'm just not remembering the old dude's name, as well as Mashal's love for cream puffs and his ability to wield a wand. If you know what I'm talking about, actually go watch the show, because his iron wand that he uses, at least in battle in those grand magic tournaments, is real useful. He uses it as a tennis racket. Oh my goodness, out here playing tennis ball. So it's a really good story. I recommend that you check it out. Season 1 and Season 2. Can't wait for Season 3. I don't know if it's already been announced, but it will be announced just because of the popularity that it has gained through the theme song itself. Anyway, like and subscribe. Sorry. Let's move. My fault. It's how I'm editing this. Let's move on to number 6. Number 6. Disregard that like and subscribe from that number 6, but also like and subscribe. But number 6 is The Don. I know a lot of people in other top 10s that I've seen has it higher up, maybe into top 3. I don't think so. It's a unique story and a good story. It also gives us good comedic moments, and mostly because people have it at top 3 is because they were fans previously from the manga, so they were excited to see a direct adaptation. I did not read the manga, nor am I an advantageous manga reader, so I just watched the anime only. And the anime was cool in terms of introductions to build up Okaru's power and their relationship with Momo and her physical capabilities, as well as the pink-haired girl introduction and her abilities with the long-haired ghost. So it was really nice for the introductions. I can't wait to see more of it. Again, the flaws, at least for me in the show, one is that it's nonstop action. We really don't get to know anything of these characters other than fight. And that's mostly some problems with the new gens, that they don't really allow to get to know any of the characters, because season 1 was supposed to captivate your attention. At least I think that was their intention, to captivate so many viewers through the action and not really worry about the characters. I really don't know much about Okaru and Momo characters, nor do I know much about the granny. They explain the world pretty good and the power systems as good as they can, of course, but they didn't really give me a chance to really learn about the characters at all. Like, not even one backstory for grandma. At least a little backstory. At least give me a little knowledge of what's going on. But no, just non-stop action. And of course, we're gonna move on to number 5. Number 5, of course, is the classroom of the elite. Now, if you are throwing tomatoes at your screen, if you made it this far in this video, for me, it is number 5 because they give us more exposition on Ayane Koji and what happened in the White Room. Also, the expulsion of a traitor in the class was peak in terms of how he manipulated the points, how he manipulates other people, and of course, the chess match he has with the girl of the daughter of the father that used the White Room to develop Ayane Koji's abilities. So it has great premise, great story, and more exposition on the story itself. I really did enjoy it. It keeps you interested for every twist and turn that Ayane Koji has, even at the end where he loves this girl eventually just because he wants to learn about love. Of course, all of this is evident for him to have a normal high school life. So he wants to love someone because I guess that's the normal thing to do in high school, or at least have a relationship in high school. Of course, that's kind of it. For me, it's over the Don just because of the expedition, the story, and I'm actually interested in the characters rather than what other else is going on in the characters itself. I want to see what next move Ayane Koji has planned out in this story, and I can't wait for Classroom of the Elite Season 4 if it's not announced. If it's already announced, I can't wait for it. but I don't know if it's announced or not. Let's move on to number 4. Number 4 is probably the most hyped anime of the season outside of this year, outside of Dragon Ball Daima, and that is Solo Leveling. Now, Solo Leveling is just a generic power shonen, so there's not really much I can explain, of course, on the story itself. It's just him leveling up to get as strong as possible within the story itself. Nothing unique, but what it does do in the story is that it gives some consequences and pitfalls. You cannot tell me that the Arai scene was not hype. The fight scenes were really good. There's nothing unique about Solo Leveling, but they perfectly executed blandness, and you within the animation, within the voice acting, within you wanting to see more, while also giving you a chance to know more about these characters, getting a chance to actually see the motivation for Sung Jin-woo and some of his quests to take care of his mother and his sister while leveling up, and while he's building his own guild with a partner. So it gives a chance and a little backstory to Sung Jin-woo, introduces to many more aspects of the world, some S-class heroes, some SS-class heroes, and some national treasure heroes. So it explains a lot, gives us a lot of exposition, and can't wait for season 2 that drops in a couple of days. We'll see this, it's January 1st, so it'll drop in a couple of days. Let's go to number 3. Number 3 is, of course, Demon Slayer Hashira training arc. It has an explosive end to the arc with the eventual destruction and self-explosion of the mansion to inflict pain to Mugen. Also, you get to see Tanjiro grow and grow way more. Also, it delves deep into the characters, giving more backstories, giving more exposition towards the Wind Hashira and the Wind Hashira's brother to explain why things are the way they are. Also, giving a beautiful, emotional build up to the last, Infinity Castle arc. So it's beautifully done. We also get to learn about Guillaume more and about how each Hashira style is basically fitted for each of their personality, as we see multiple students rigorously go through it. But since Tanjiro is the main character, we mostly just see Tanjiro just wipe all through it. We also get to see what Tengen is doing during this arc, since Tengen mostly is retired, but we get to see what he's doing in this arc as Muzan is preparing and launching his final attack on the Demon Slayer, since he found the one that can conquer the sun. So with the exposition, with the action, even with the training arc, it beautifully gives us more captivating action while it gives a beautiful exposition on the characters. Honestly, number 3 for me. A lot of people have it higher on different lists, but for me it is number 3. Let's move on to the next one. Number 2 is, of course, Bleach 1000-Year Blood War arc of the conflict. We not only get to see action, we get to see Shunsei Utake's eventually enter his character arc. We also get to see Mayuri gain some feats and see his absolute craziness with the baby, including the Quincy's backstories, including the more exposition of the Quincy's and the Stern Riders, saying that even in the latest episode that not every Stern Rider that was on Yuha's side is really on Yuha's side for real. They wanted to get close to him, and they eventually want to kill him, of course, because Yuha is looked at as an enemy towards the Quincy's also, or at least the newer Quincy's. The older Quincy's like Uryu, even Ichigo's mother, different, right? Other than that, we get to see way more exposition. We get to see way more powers and skill set within Shunsui's Bankai, within Mayuri's Bankai, even the new girl that sort of has a Bankai within itself from Shunsui. So it's very cool. We get to see different movesets, different characters' exposition, and I can't wait to see how they wrap it up. Now let's move on to the number 1 spot. And my number 1 spot for anime of the year has to go to Frieren in World's End Journey. Of course, this takes place after the initial story of Frieren, where she basically travels around with her friends to defeat the Demon King. Generic story. This explains what happens after heroes are done and completed with their story. So this gives us beautiful animation along with beautiful fights and the beautiful emotional impact as we see Frieren's pain of losing her close friends, her close party members, as now all she sees is like memorabilia of them, statues, books. Even her student now is from a former party member of hers. So it's a very emotional, touching anime that will have you in feels almost all the time that you watch it. While also, you can have multiple fight scenes, so you're not just sitting there getting hit back to back by animation sad scenes. You get to watch beautiful fighting scenes, and basically, her flexing her strength as Frieren is sort of like an overpowered protagonist in this show. But she's overpowered done right, at least in my opinion, because we're really not there for the action. We're really invested in Frieren's character, and that is, to me, the best anime of this year. And I'm surprised. I know whoever's watching this video at this point has logged off. Frieren is not on many people's top 10. For me, it is. So, come on now. If you have made it to the end of this video, yes, I have a different shirt on. But like, appreciate the support, appreciate the growth that we had in 2024. Can't wait for what this 2025 year brings for us as a community, brings for us as a channel. I will try to continue to post every day to the best of my ability. Like, subscribe as always. I hope you do as good. I hope you get to your goals this year. Peace out.